Hey guys, how you doing? Today we're gonna chat about just some other stuff about Padme, but more in particular the fifth on Padme and what the release will kind of be, whether it's like a reworked tune, a totally new tune, or just like another legendary coming in, maybe like a Master Kenobi, maybe Jedi or a Fallen Anakin or a Padawan Anakin. We don't know, but here. I just want to kind of hit up on some points of what kind of makes me believe it's not going to be a marquee and it's going to be more towards like a legendary or a tune we already have in game that will just get reworked to be a really good fifth in the team. So let's just start it off, guys. So starting off with the Jedi Knight Revan meta that we had about a year ago, and it lasted for quite a while. The person we had in there that came out with Jedi Revan was actually two people. It was Bastila Shan, the light side version, and Jolie. I'm only talking and mentioning about the people in the team that made a really good Jedi Revan team, and that would include Jedi Revan, GMY, Grandmaster Yoda, Bastila, Jolie, and GK. So those five. With that in mind, before Jedi Knight Revan came, the ones that we had was Yoda and GK. Relating that to the ones we have right now in game, besides mentioning new ones we could get, it's going to be yet again GK, Anakin, and actually we have Ahsoka in here. Ahsoka is a pretty, she's been around for a while. The only new one that we've ever seen that has been the team is Padme. She's the team with Padme. She's the only new one that we've seen that's kind of been related to the Jedi Knight Revan, or like we've seen with Darth Revan here. So we're destined to most likely get either a new fifth, which is what I'm leaning towards in like a legendary type of event, or it's going to be a reworked, but I don't think they're going to be doing a reworked for this best fifth in this team. This whole Padme team will be the next meta, because the reason behind that is because they like to go light side meta, dark side meta, light side, and they kind of just go back and forth on that. So we had a Jedi Knight Revan meta about a year ago, and now we're kind of into the later part of the Darth Revan and Malak meta, and now we're going to go back into a light side meta with Padme being the lead, and the ones that we have here, GK, Anakin, Ahsoka, and then whatever new fifth we're going to get. So the only really, way I can see it's going is just probably legendary. As much as I would like to see a reworked being the fifth, I just don't see it being, happening. If they want to make some money off of this new meta team, they would really put this into a legendary event. And we can get into that later of what I think it might be. But going back to the Jedi and Jedi Knight Revan, we already had Yoda and GK to be that really good fifth, or a really good fourth and fifth to team, and then the main three was, besides the ones we already had, and the new ones that were released was Revan, Bastila, and Jolie. So now, if you want to take those three and relate them to the Sith meta that we have right now, those three are now. The Darth Revan Bastila is more like, just the other Bastila, just a dark side version, and an HK is kind of like a Jolie in a sense, if you want to think of it like that. And then we actually had Marauder. Marauder has been in the game quite a while. You can kind of relate him and compare him to like a Yoda in a sense where he's been in the game for a while now, and he's actually one of the best parts to the entire team. And then of course Malak, and Malak will be, or he is like the legendary-esque tune that really makes this whole team really good and meta dominant rather. So we're missing a Malak type of tune for the Padme team. So we already have the pieces for the Padme team. We're just missing the fifth. We already have the lead. We already have the Bastila. We already have the HK for Padme, and we kind of have the Marauder in there as well. But we are missing that fifth, guys, and that's kind of why I think we're going to be getting a new fifth that we haven't been thinking of, and it's going to go kind of when we see it, it's going to go kind of past our heads, or we're going to just already guess who it is like we typically do. The ones I would like to see if we're talking about legendaries would be either a Jar Jar. I know you guys don't like Jar Jar at all, but it makes a lot of sense to me being a fifth in that team, and he's like a new character we haven't seen before. Or making a Qui-Gon rework, which kind of makes sense because I just said Qui-Gon's a she. Wow, I'm so sorry, Qui-Gon. Disrespecting, I'm sorry, but no, Qui-Gon's a man. but he was a part with Padme and helping out in the episode 1 stuff. Not too much Clone Wars, and that's kind of why I don't think Qui-Gon's going to be the candidate for that team, because Clone Wars era, he wasn't around, he died right to Maul. And if we're going to go around Clone Wars content, the only other person in-game that we might see a rework of is going to be Mace. Mace is the most likely candidate, and he's been that candidate for a long, long time now. And it only makes sense to me if any of these guys were to get reworks, it should be him to be the best 5th in the team. I would not want to see a clone be that 5th. I think clones should have a whole separate team with either Shaak Ti or just a whole nother team just based off clones, and then have a whole team based off of Clone Wars Jedi. So now that we're chatting about Qui-Gon, Mace, and then that maybe Jar Jar, the other one, and one that I think that CG might go ahead with, is going to be Master Kenobi. This, however, would make it so that we would have 2 Kenobis in the same team. And if this were to be true, I would kind of think that Master Kenobi wouldn't, rather, the opposite way, just swap it around. I would rather think GK, this General Kenobi we have in-game, would not be with this team. I think he would actually be better off in the new Clone Wars Jedi team, and then have that Master Kenobi be that like little add-in, and then make it so he kind of just takes up the roles of pretty much, that GK and a new 5th. So that would just pretty much mean we have this Padme, Master Kenobi, JKA, Ahsoka, and then pretty much whatever other 5th that we can, get our hands onto. I don't want to see, a fallen Anakin, because that wouldn't be a light side character, right? I don't want to see that in this Padme team. You could maybe go ahead and say maybe, what's his name? The youngling Anakin, or the younger version, the Padawan Anakin, I guess you could say. I don't know, guys. I just think if they were to try to, make the 5th and try to make some money off of it, making a meta-dominant team, they would really go ahead and go with somebody that we're going to probably need to farm a lot for, kind of like, Malik. And I think that's probably what they're going to be doing here in a little bit. And that really makes the most sense to me, especially since we're going to be getting some more clones and more clone reworks. And, on that topic of clones, we'll just go over here really fast. We only have 5 in game right now. I would think we're going to get more, and I think it's destined to get some more, plus some reworks here. And with that, I think we'll be getting the GK, or not the GK, but the Master Kenobi Legendary type event, because he was all about, the clones in the Clone Wars, helping them out. And I think it makes a lot of sense to kind of work up to that event with some clones, with some Clone Wars Jedi added in, kind of like a Ki-Adi-Mundi. And then some other reworked, Jedi we're going to be seeing. And then just adding that up, like a huge hype up to a Master Kenobi type event. And then making him a really good 5th into the team. If it's not going to be him, it would be another type of legendary event, I would say. It's got to be either legendary or like a heroic journey or something like that. I don't know. It's got to be, a really hype type of event. It's got to be, super, super hard to acquire. Maybe they want to do legendary for a 5-star unlock. We'll have to see. I think the worst possible thing that they can do in a situation like this when they're trying to move metas is to make it on a marquee character. That is absolutely the worst thing they can actually do here. The nicest thing and the best thing for a free-to-play would definitely be to just rework an older tune like Mace, like Qui-Gon, like any of these other Jedi here. That would be really the best bet here. So yeah. We already have some, kits in-game right now based off of, Padme event for Mace, and we have another kit design on the GOTB for Mace. Those are 2 different kits, actually. If you guys to read the Shatterpoint uniques, they're totally different. In the Padme event, and whenever somebody has Shatterpoint and he hits somebody, it stuns them and it can't be resisted. And then for the GOTB, the Shatterpoint, whenever it's on somebody, he actually does massive damage to him. So there's 2 different, entirely different kits based off of Mace. And with that being said, guys, I think it only makes sense if they already have those 2 different, variations of Shatterpoint. It really makes a lot of sense to me to add that guy into the Padme team. We were chatting about Clone Wars Jedi a little bit ago, and I would like to see a whole team based off that. But Mace would really be a really good 5th in that team, or a really good add-in to that team. And if that was the case, then we wouldn't have him in the Padme team. And I don't want to have a whole, GMY situation here where I need to have GMY and JKR, but he does work very, very well in this team as well. I'd rather just have a whole team based on the fact of Padme, a whole team based off of Clone Wars Jedi, and a whole team based off clones. I don't want to have to mix and mingle those guys around. That would be totally the worst possible thing for me. I just want to have a set in stone team that I could use in my GAs to counter Malix, or just maybe just to, you know, put them on defense if I want to. But really, at the end and kind of the conclusion of this whole video, guys, I know I'm rambling a lot on this, but I think we're going to be either seeing a Mace or we're going to be seeing a new legendary type of event. So Mace is a super safe bet, I think, but if you guys want to prepare for this new legendary event, I would highly recommend working on your clone troopers, getting them 7-star, getting them at like year 11, maybe year 12, or just, you know, what I would typically do in this situation. I don't know what's going to happen. Get them all 7-star from farming them, and then save up all your gold, your currencies. And then once we get the reworks of the clones, just start working away on them. Depending on who's the best ones, work on those guys first. We'll probably see an event, you know, based around the clone troopers in a little bit, guys. I'd probably give it a month or two before we see something like that. But there's a lot of content for this whole Clone Wars era in Star Wars, guys. So, like I said, I think we're going to be seeing, you know, Mace, maybe a legendary type of event. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. If you guys agree, let me know. If you disagree, let me know as well. I think we've got to be getting this 5th of Padme, guys. The meta needs to be shifting in a little bit, and it makes a lot of sense to me to get this 5th. It's just missing this 5th team for Padme is missing a huge part to make it meta, and I would love to see it. But that's it for today, guys. Like, share, and sub to the channel like always. And I'm gonna just stop it here because I'm gonna keep stuttering, and I'll see you later.